So I picked up these, what they're called, flexi mount shelving, garage shelving, and these are the 4 feet sections. As you see, I'm gonna put like totes in here. Mainly this stuff right here, my funnels, my extractors. But that's how it looks so far. I really like these, this brand. This overhead unit, that's the same brand. Those shells over there, same thing as well. So you can always catch them on Amazon with the coupon. So that's when I usually buy them, or somebody does a return. But it's really good. These are the 2 foot sections. So it's got 2 pieces. Each piece is a foot long, in width. And then the length on these, you can either do 3 foot sections or 4 foot sections, and that's what I chose. All right, so that's how it looks like with the stuff on there. So I got my fluid extractors, my ATF filler, just some extra cases. Those are my blow molded trays that come with the tools I buy, but I usually take them out. Well, I've been taking them out because I've been out of space, but now I have space, I might put those back. Just random stuff, parts up there. But yeah, utilize that space, that vertical space in your garage if you have it. So those are good options. I may buy another just single pack, run it across here. That way I can use that space right there too and not lose that. So it's good options if y'all are looking for some garage storage space. I'll eventually, obviously I'll leave this area clear, but I'll eventually run one more set across here. That way I can use this space up here as well. So, but as you can see, I clear up a lot of space on top of my hutch and my locker. You know, I can use that space for other things too if I want, but kind of cleans it up. So, all right, so I got this side. This is the main garage door. So I got some up there now. So these are the 2 feet by 3 feet sections, so totaling 6 feet. Going this side as well. So the way I got it spaced out, so this one right here goes straight into the stud right here going across, but these all run anchors. And I am using the Bauer hex drive. This is the brushless model. It's been great, plenty of power. So we'll get these up. So all right, yeah, both sides done. I got another 4 foot section that's coming in. I'll put it on that wall. But that'll be later because I don't need that space right now. I'll probably end up just doing this section here. I got these totes. These are by Sterilite. Let me see, there's a tag on this thing. This one doesn't have one. So they are sealed. That way it keeps moisture out, bugs, whatever. And they are on sale right now at Walmart, so that's what I've been picking up. That way all the totes are consistent with each other. And for the price, I really like them. These, I got the 54 quart, and then these are the 80 quart. So now the 80 quarts won't fit up here with the spacing the way I have it. No, obviously if it dropped down below there, but then it, you know, the garage door would hit it. So that works out perfectly. All right, so I got this ACURA in here today. I actually was here about a few weeks ago. I changed out the headlights on this one. Customer's gonna get car repainted. He wanted some new headlights to go with it. But it's back in here today. It's gonna get a new water pump, thermostat, do a coolant drain on it. So that way get it all ready for the summer. We're gonna change out the hoses as well too. So first things first on these ACURAs, what I normally like to do while the belt's still on there is kind of go ahead and loosen up those bolts. These are here, these 3 on the water pump pulley. That way you'll take that pulley cap off. It's easier to do it while the belt's still on there with the tension on it, so it holds it in place. I just loosen it up, I don't take it all the way out, then I'll take the belt off. So that's just a little tip right there. It's just easier to do it that way on these Hondas. And then pretty much it's straightforward from there. Once you take the belt off, we'll take a look at the tensioner, see if it's obstructing the access to the water pump. And usually like on the 4-cylinder Civics they are, so you take the tensioner off, then you can pull that water pump off. It's held on by 10mm bolts. But overall, this thing I think has 260,000 miles on it, I believe. I'll have to double check here in a second, but it's still running great. Keeps up with the maintenance on it. So overall, really clean car. So we'll get it running. All right, so here's what the customer supplied. You got an upper and lower radiator hose set. We got thermostat seal right here. And then a new thermostat with housing. So they are built in. This is for a 2012 ACURA TSX. And then we got the water pump. So water pump does come with a seal as well too. So let's go get that back in the box. All right, so this is a 2012 ACURA TSX with the 2.4. It's a special edition. But any of the ones that come with the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder is going to be the same. So like I said, we're going to be replacing the water pump, the thermostat, these two hoses right here. We're going to drain this coolant out. I did check it yesterday. It looks like whoever worked on it before has green coolant in there, so we're going to get that green coolant out. We're going to put some blue to spec coolant back into the system. So yeah, we're going to get this going, so that way we're here in Texas. We're going to, it gets hot down here. And they do drive this car a lot. This family does use it for their daily drive. In fact, let's go ahead and get some mileage on here. So there we go. The mileage is 226,428, and this thing is still running really great. Like I said, it's their daily driver. They put a lot of mileage on here, but we're gonna get it going. They keep up with their maintenance, so I'm just gonna be doing some stuff for them, the cooling system. But yeah, overall this car is really good shape. It does have some cosmetic things, like I said. We put some new headlights in it. He's got a fresh set of Michelins on there, so he's gonna be ready for the summer. All right, so first things first, we're gonna disconnect the battery. We're gonna use our new 4-ton jack. I'm just gonna test it out. Get this jacked up, get that wheel off. Now so like I said yesterday, I've already got the water pump, the 3 bolts down there, the 10mm ones, those loosened up. So we're gonna get that tensioner off. That slid out the way, and then hopefully we can access that water pump and get that pulled off without having to go with the wheel well. See if we can do it from up top. If not, I've already got the wheel off, so we'll go along. Get the jack stand. Now, normally I would be using my low profile, but I've got to use this thing. The only thing about this unit is not a rapid pump like the low profile one over there. So Get the wheels trapped. Okay. So a little bit more. Okay. I'm gonna get that tire off. I'm gonna get that jack stand under there. So 19 mil socket for the wheel lugs. We're going to use the clutch. Alright, it does have a wheel lock on there, so let me get that. And then for me, I always just stick the wheel underneath the car, just for safety measures. Okay, we got the jack stand on the subframe. Alright, I'm not putting the key in there because it's already on the lowest setting. It's sitting on the jack stand itself. Alright. So let's go ahead and get the belt loosened. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and start draining the coolant. So the best thing I found for collecting coolant is a cement mixing tray from Home Depot. It's only $7 plus tax or whatever. Yeah, I mean it's wide and it's cheap. I mean you can try to get one of those oil pans, but I found those you just go everywhere, especially if you know you can't lift the car all the way up and you have the collector. But these have been great. And then I always pick up one of these absorbent mats in an auto parts store. All right, sorry I had to put y'all on pause for a second because it was interesting down here. So it looks like whoever did this before had sheet metal screws. So basically this cover is supposed to extend all the way over there, but all this was screwed on. So I had to get all that off, pry some of this old clips off. So as long as you get this cover off, What we're trying to access is that petcock right here. Some lighting. So this one right here. So we're gonna get a pair of pliers, turn it counterclockwise, and then there's this little hole that the fluid will come out of. All right. Okay. So all I did was get a pair of pliers, loosen it up. So there it is, starting to flow now. You don't want it too much or else it's gonna end up flying out. You see where it's starting to leak from the threads already. So, all right, we're gonna let that drain out. If you haven't already, go ahead and open this up so that way there's no pressure in the system. And it'll flow out a lot better. So we'll let that, go ahead and open this up too. I've already taken off the negative for the battery. So, all right, we'll let that drain out, and then we're going to get this belt off. All right, so that's still draining. What we'll do now is take off this belt. I'm going to test out this is a snap-on serpentine belt tool. See if I can get the part number on there. It is YA9350B1. So it should be going counterclockwise, and this one does spin both ways. Pull it counterclockwise, slip the belt off. Okay. We'll slide that belt down there. And like I said, I've already loosened these 3 10mm water pump bolt, fully cover it off, so get those off by hand. There's one. Spin it up, get the next one. Two. That one's still kind of on there. Loosened it up. And this is just a gear wrench, double box end, one end ratcheting. That's a non-flex one. I do like that one. I usually mainly use that one for fan clutch bolts as well too. Okay, so there's 3. All right. So sometimes it is stuck on there. We're going to throw some penetrating fluid. slightly just touch on it with the pry bar, and it came right off. Now, one thing I dislike about Hondas is there's not a lot of room. Fish it up from the top, and there it is. We'll get this cleaned off, and then I'll clean it off some more with some brake clean here in a second. All right. Let's go and move this belt down some more. Okay, let's see what we can see here. Okay, so you're gonna take this pulley off right here first, and that looks like it's two 14mm bolts. Two 14mm bolts. So that pulley will be in the way. That one's loosened up. That's done. Just put the extension on there. Like I said about these Hondas, they don't, everything's kind of stuck. In fact, let's go ahead and get that loosened up so that's not in the way too. Oh, there goes that one. Set out here in a second. Okay. So that pulley's off. So And listen to that one, still smooth. All right, so we got two 12s, one down here, one right here. Go ahead and break those loose. It's just a semi-deep socket. Okay, so this one does kind of, it's pretty close to the motor mount. Let's see if this thing will get in there. So pretty long fastener. This one, 12 mil nut. All right, and that belt tensioner is off now. Same thing, we'll listen to this. This one still sounds good too. All right, let me get you out the tripod here. Okay, so we got the tensioner off, and we got that pulley that was unsit on top. So first the cover off from the water pump, then this pulley, then the belt tensioner. All right, you don't have to take anything else now. It's just these 6, and the way to know it's 6 is if you go over to the new water pump. So you got 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I'll find a spot for y'all. And there's that part number for this belt tensioner tool from Snap-on if you're interested. Hopefully it's not too blurry. There he goes right there. Okay, my eyes are really bad. So before I pull that off, let me go ahead and turn this drain pan so that way it covers this area too. It's still draining the radiator fluid down there, but we're gonna go ahead and slide it sideways so that way it covers this water pump fluid as soon as I take it off. All right, so to get to the last bolt, you'll pull these covers to the side, and right there, sorry, that's that one last 6 bolt that you have to open up right there. So we've already got it out. All right, so then you have that one. So 1, 2, sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's left, and we'll get those out. All right, so we got all 6 bolts out. Now, I've seen a lot of bad recommendations as far as getting the water pump off itself online. Talking about getting a pry bar and prying right here. You don't want to do that because if you scratch this or if you damage this surface here, you know, that could cause a potential leak in the water pump area. So, if anything, so pry on it right here first. If not, what we're going to do is just kind of go up against the alternator, and boom, it's off. So you don't need a pry right here on the mating surface, and then we'll pull this old gasket off just like that, and that's it. So we'll let that coolant drain off real quick. Let's go and pull this up, and there's our old water pump. This one was still good, but he had went to a shop and they recommended him get it changed due to the mileage. And I mean, with 226,000 miles on it, this still is the original one. We're going to go ahead and get it changed before any failures. All right, we'll get that area cleaned up and we'll get the other one prepped. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this thermostat off as well too. We're gonna pull this radiator hose off while we're down here. That we can get all that coolant out. So with this snap-on radiator hose clamp plier, it is ratcheting, so it locks into place. Just like that, okay. Let me see. So again, once you get it on, you can lock it into place. As you see, this one's kind of rusty. It's kind of sitting on there, so let me get two hands on there. Kind of want an angle pick for this situation. And the problem here is the hose swells up beyond radiator thermostat housing itself, not the radiator, there's thermostat housing itself, that port. So we're kind of working back and forth a little bit. All right. Get this wiring clip out. So it should have 3 10mm bolts on there. Gonna get an extension. An easier way to do this, instead of finding that hose, I'm just going to take the whole housing off. Get those loosened up. Good thing we're changing this out because I see some corrosion occurring down here on these fasteners. And what that's going to cause problems for me is that it's taking them off. So let's go ahead and get some PV blaster on there. And what I don't want to do is end up stripping those bolts out, or rounding them off, I mean. So I do have these Matco anti-slip sockets that I've been using a lot on cars that were rusty. So
and they've been working great. So I'm crossing fingers that it's the same way here. I do feel it slipping. Okay, so we're not going to work that one anymore. We're going to go to the next one. All right, so we got the thermostat out. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it. There he goes right there. So it's probably slowly leaking out, causing this to rust, as you see right there. But again, we'll get all that cleaned up. We'll get the threads cleaned out, and we'll get that new thermostat on there. And we're gonna get this pulled off, go down there and get that lower one down, off. So unfortunately, I didn't realize, I went back to my footage, didn't realize my phone was dying. And so it kind of zoomed back in and didn't really capture everything towards the end. So I used the bolt biter to get that rusty fastener off. This one right there. So there's that. So I got all three out from the thermostat housing here. So we're gonna get this lower radiator hose part off, and then we'll get this top one off. We'll probably pull the intake off. So let me get y'all back on the tripod and onto a charging cord. All right, should be good now. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and close that cock back up from the radiator. And then we're going to go ahead and get this lower hose off. And I'm just using the Snap-on HCP4BACF. This is the older style radiator hose clamp plier. And that just means my light is going out. So while before that goes out, I do need to buy another battery. Bigger one. That's alright. So this is one that I usually keep for my mobile setup. This is the Hyper Tough one. It's got 3 settings. Not as bright as the Craftsman one, but still works. make sure you have your pan under there. And all you do is just pry off that bottom hose. And there we have it. Okay. Now that we have this off, get that out here in a second. We can work that old clamp off. As you can see, there's some grooves right here where it should lock into place. This one's a little bit wider. So let's see if I can get another one. So you can see now it's locked in place. Should be able to slide it off. Now what we can do with both is just slide it right up to the other end, and we'll throw this away. So what fell was the other hose clamp. So both are locked in. This over. Now what we're going to do is loosen up this airbox hose. That way we can get to this radiator hose clamp. Okay. I'm doing a very good job advertising. Alright, so there's that one. Pull this one off. Let's see this. This option here, there it is. Alright, now we have access to this hose right here. Turn it upwards. Get out of the way. You can use different style of radiator hose picks. You got the ones with the pointy end. Now these, because of these hoses, I'm going to go ahead and replace. Sorry, my word's stumbling. I don't mind using these, but if I wasn't, try to use one with a flat tip like this so it doesn't damage it. Either one will work. So you can kind of get in there and work your way around it and break that bead. Okay. And then, now they make different brands. Snap-on obviously makes some. I also had previously a Milwaukee one. And that one is just designed just like this as well too. I just passed that one on to my nephew. He's building up a tool collection. So figured I'd help him out a little bit, give him some of my old Milwaukee pliers. Let's go ahead and get that 90-degree hose stick. That one's on there pretty good. You can hear that seal coming. When I say seal, it's just that rubber hardening from the heat and cold cycles, fluid in the engine. Really step down on the bottom portion. So what I'm doing now, but knocking stuff down. I'm not playing nice anymore. Now obviously if you're not replacing the hose, don't do what I just did and cut it off. You can see where it squeezes down here from that hose clamp, and the hose just means the hose clamp's doing its job as it's expanding and contracting. You can see where it kind of bows out like that. So, and there's a ridge in here you feel inside here that it's just stuck on. All right, we'll get that cleaned off, and then there's also it's tapered. As you can see right there, it's tapered right there, so that's where it's kind of getting stuck on. We'll get that cleaned off. All right. So while we have this out, go ahead and clean his throttle body out for him. So you get a clean brush. Got a carbon buildup in there. All right. Okay, then we pull these hose clamps off. Throw this one away. Yeah, okay, let me put this on now. Come in. All right, so y'all seen the process of taking everything off already. I won't bore y'all with putting it back on. That way I can go ahead and get this wrapped up and call the customer, get it picked back up, and get on out of here and enjoy my Saturday. So we'll get cracking. So one tip, I normally mark the radiator hose where which one goes from the bottom, which one goes to the top, so that way you know. This. like I said earlier, we're going to get these threads cleaned out. All I'm doing is running a tap through here. I had a really third cleaner, but anything in there, so it's pretty rusted in there. And it's got that thread locker on there as well too. Slow going. At least that's peace of mind. Okay. That's all cleaned off. So it looks like this elbow piece right here needs to come off along with this hose. So we'll take that off. Oh, there it goes. So like I said, just a little bit of suction in there. And what I want to do next is inspect that clip. And there, once you kind of spread it out and work it in, it should hold in place. This one's definitely not as excessive play. It's got enough resistance on there. So you work your way slowly in there. Try not to knock that gasket off. Loose enough that way we still have some wiggle room. Should be 6 in total. Alright, we're going to go down here and get this one threaded in. Now these Blackhawk swivel sockets are some of my favorite. Get in tight places. We'll snug up each side. This one, the pulley is going to be blocking the way, so we'll do that one by all the way in. This last top one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll do this bottom one. In fact, we'll just do that one. Tighten it up by hand. Now remember, these 10 mil bolts, you do not need a lot of torque on them. You don't want to break it off. All right, so there's the thermostat, and here's the housing I was talking about. So that's held on by that clip. It is concaved, so once you put that press in there and lock it in, it should seal up. We've got that bottom radiator hose there, and then over here, as you can see, we got the new water pump in. All 6 bolts tightened down. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start putting in the belt tensioner, and then the pulley, belt pulley, so that way, and then after that we'll get this cap on, okay? He's got a lot of torque, for sure. All right, got the belt tensioner in. Now I'm got this belt pulley in. It's 2 14mm bolts. Okay. Also 33 pounds. Get a longer socket. Good on that. All we got left is to get this belt back on. I am running the, this is just Icon split beam. All right, guys. So once you put the pulley cover back on, thread these in by hand, and then get you an Allen wrench, stick it in one of these larger holes, make sure it fits in there, and then as you turn it, it's going to lock into place, and then you can tighten up your fasteners right there, all three of them, and just keep moving the Allen wrench behind the fastener that you're going to tighten until you get all three done. Okay, and then once you're down here, you can kind of start looping your belt up as well too. So just a little tip. So there you go, you got that. And then let me go ahead and show you. So got the belt back on both sides, thermostat, hoses. So we are good to go. We're going to get this cleaned off. Okay, so I won't bore y'all with that. Went ahead and get everything buttoned back up over here. So let me get this cleaned off. We're gonna pull this car out, get the tire back on, and then bleed out the coolant system. All right, so got everything cleaned off. Put the wheel back on, we're gonna torque it down. Again, I need to buy a bigger battery for this one. It provides a lot of good light, but small battery's not doing me any good. Well, looks like I'm going to keep it in here because it's getting ready to storm out there. So we'll let this run for a while, let the system bleed out on the coolant. When I say bleed out, I mean burp out. So still got it running, still trying to burp it out. You can see that air coming out of there. Like I said, it's storming really good outside right now, so we're just gonna run it in here. Got the garage open. So